I'm going to show you the precise day when the Antichrist begins his reign of 42 months, or a times in dividing it. That would bring us to the 6th month and 14th day. And this is Esther's preparation in like a few weeks. But that would be the year 2020, that would be the year 2019, okay? 2019 would be August 24th, 2019. That's the date the Antichrist would begin his reign and his power, okay? And then it would go 42 months. Simple question. How is it that we were to make that statement 3 years ago before the election, and it came into fruition? August 21st, Donald Trump declared himself to be the chosen one. He quoted someone saying that said he was the king of Israel. He was the second coming of God. Clearly, Donald Trump repeated these statements on his own Twitter account as blasphemy. We said that 3 years ago. Now, to clarify the intro of the video, we're not saying Donald Trump is the Antichrist, but he is the 7th king. And he is fulfilling the things in the scriptures about the mouth speaking great words. And in doing so, he has triggered these 42 months that the beast should receive its power. So it's happened, okay? Now what we're going to do is go through the details of the prophecy. This is a teaching YouTube channel. We go through the teaching, we explain the prophecy, we explain the details to educate the people, okay? Now many of you may have different, political agendas. We don't care. We care about the second coming of Jesus Christ, okay? I don't care what country you're from or what political persuasion. None of it matters. All of it's going to be destroyed, okay? The stone from the mountain that is hewn without man's hands is going to break all these kingdoms, including America. Now, Donald Trump, of course, was quoting somebody. And let's look at what this guy said.
If you haven't watched the show, I happen to be Jewish by birth, and 75% of all Jews vote Democrat, and they don't like Trump. And this is the greatest president for Jews and for Israel in the history of the world, not just America. Trump's the best president for Israel in the history of the world, and the Jewish people love him like he is the king of Israel. They love him like he is the second coming of God. And in America, American Jews don't like him. They don't even know what they're doing or saying anymore. It makes no sense. But that's okay. He keeps doing what he's doing. He's good for all of us.
Now, another thing that Donald Trump has done in his campaign and everything else is quote this poem called the Snake Poem. Now, any type of Christian would never utter these statements. Like, if you're a Christian and someone says to you, you're, some kind of chosen one, or you're some kind of king of Israel, or you're the second coming of God, you would immediately squash those statements. But Donald Trump has made an effort to put that on his Twitter account for the world to see. Now, during his trips of different kind of high school prep rallies, right, he will repeat this poem. It's called the Snake Poem. And another thing, if you're a Christian, you would never repeat this poem because it's very strange. It's very, it's like a parable, right? But it's pretty clear it's the Garden of Eden and the snake, okay? And the snake bites the woman. But let's listen to him repeat it.
This is called the snake. And you may love it or you may say, isn't that terrible, okay? And if you say, isn't that terrible, who cares? Because the way they treat me, that's peanuts compared to the way they treat me. Immigration. On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-hearted, frozen snake. His pretty colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. Poor thing, she cried. I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you. Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. She wrapped him up all cozy in a comforter of silk and laid him by her fireside with some honey and some milk. She hurried home from work that night, and soon as she arrived, she found that pretty snake she'd taken in had been revived. Take me in, O tender woman, take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. She clutched him to her bosom. You're so beautiful, she cried. But if I hadn't brought you in by now, surely you would have died. She stroked his pretty skin again and kissed and held him tight. But instead of saying thank you, that snake gave her a vicious bite. Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, sighed the vicious snake. I saved you, cried the woman, and you've bitten me, heavens why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die. Oh, shut up, silly woman, said the reptile with a grin. You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in.
Okay, now let's get into the notes of the details of this prophecy, 42 months. I'll make the notes available in the description field of the video. Just click on the notes and then you can print those off now and study along, or print those off and take the time to learn this prophecy, these 42 months, a times and a half a time. Okay, here's our notes. And guys, we have another video. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on explaining this first part, but we're just going to summarize real quick. Donald Trump is the lion with two eagle's wings. We find this in Daniel 7. In Daniel 7, there's 4 kings, okay? And then in Revelation 12:3, there's the dragon receives a 7th crown. So that is a time period where the 7th king is crowned, okay? Revelation 13:2 has the mouth of a lion, and he's speaking great things and blasphemy. And then what it says is power is given to him 42 months. So when he blasphemies, we have 42 months. Now, the way we know he's the 7th king is through the interpretation of Daniel chapter 8. In Daniel chapter 8, you have a great king, and from him stems 4 notable ones, okay? And from the 4 notable ones comes a little horn. Now, this little horn is Daniel chapter 8. There's another little horn in Daniel chapter 7. They're not the same person. But we can clearly see from the succession of U.S. presidents, we have Reagan, and then we have G.W. Bush, Clinton, H.W. Bush, and then Obama. Okay, these are the 4 notable ones that come from the great king. And then Obama then becomes the little horn, which is the 6th. Okay? Now, Revelation 12:12, the devil has come down, you having great wrath, because he knows he has a short time. Short here is oligos. Okay? And the 7th must continue a short space, oligos. Okay? So, in Revelation 17:10, there are 7 kings. 5 are fallen. Okay, these are the 5. One is the 6th, and that's the little horn of Daniel chapter 8. The 7th must continue a short space. So the 7th is Trump. Okay? And the beast is the 8th. So that's why we have just the 8th and there's nobody there, because we don't know. Now, how do we go about determining these 42 months? Well, we have a perfect match of Esther, as we've shown you in previous videos, with the book of Revelation. Okay, and so in Esther, she is crowned. And once she is crowned, we have Esther chapter 3, which then shows us Haman receiving his power and his seat. Now, without going through the whole story of Esther, basically the Haman character is a type of the son of perdition, the man of sin. Okay, and he is killed at the end of the book in the 12th year. Okay, so remember we have 42 months, and then in the 12th year he is killed. Now he's killed on the 14th day of the 12th month. So we have a precise date that's given. All right. Now, what's amazing is Haman is killed on the same gallows he made to kill Mordecai. And those gallows are 50 cubits high. Now, if we take the amount of inches in a cubit from the sacred cubit, which is 25.2 inches, and we multiply that by 50, we get 1,260 days. Amazing. So what happens? Haman is killed on the gallows, and there's 1,260 inches in those gallows. So that is giving us time when we count from Purim. Okay, Purim is the 15th day of the 12th month, okay, and it just so happens to be the 12th year. So they celebrate the execution of Haman and his 10 sons. Of course, his 10 sons are the type of the 10 kings found in Revelation. So clearly the book of Esther matches Revelation perfectly, but it's an unusual source because Esther gives us the counting of the 42 months. Because once we know that he's 42 months is 3.5 years. 1,260 days is 3.5 years. Once we know his end, we can determine the beginning. So all we have to do is count back 1,260 days from the 12th year. And then we come to the 14th day of the 6th month in the 9th year. Now let's illustrate that for you via graph here. Okay. Sometimes it's good when we do these things to kind of visualize this and try and illustrate it in multiple ways. Okay, so what we have is we have a situation where we have determined that Haman, the beast, is killed. Okay, now this whole time period here is the 12th year. Okay, so going towards the end of that year is the 12th month. That's when Haman is killed, okay? And we can see that. You can see that here. Antichrist killed. Now, all we do is we just take this, and then we go back 3 years. So we go back from there. There's 1 year. And go back from there 2 years. And go back from there 3 years and a half. And then we come to the 9th year, okay? And here, the 6th month, the midway point of the year, right? And then you can see we have it here, the Antichrist begins his reigns. Well, that's what we understood at the time because we interpret this as being the revealing of the Antichrist. But it's not. He just has his power. And the lion with the mouth of the beast with the mouth of a lion is exhibiting those blasphemies, ushering in these 42 months, right? Okay, so that happened on a precise day that we showed you. Okay, we said to look for this day in the future. And what is it? It's the 6th month. Okay, so it's in the year. You can see right here, 2019. This is the beginning of 2019. This is the spring. Okay, and then spring, summer here. And as we enter the fall, the 6th month, the middle point of the 6th month, we were watching for some indication of this fulfillment. And we saw it. It happened. Okay? So now, what we do is we never do private interpretation, guys. If this is true, this is an important prophecy, we must have multiple witnesses, multiple things throughout the scriptures that explain this. Okay? Now we saw in here, see what it says, a third of the sun, moon, and stars are darkened. It's a fourth trumpet. Now in the other videos we have shown you how it, don't let the winds blow. Okay? So the winds blowing, the trumpets are exhibiting some of the characteristics, but there's something holding them back. The angels are still holding them back. But that fourth trumpet, we can see when we count back, all right, we can look at that fourth trumpet in Revelation 8:12. The fourth angel sounded, a third part of the sun, moon, and stars were darkened, and the day did not shine for a third part. Okay? Well, our second witness to the interpretation we're giving you is in Ezekiel 32. In Ezekiel 32:7, I will cover the heavens, the stars will become dark, and I will cover the sun, and the moon will not give her light. So clearly this is the fourth trumpet that Ezekiel is describing. Now Ezekiel 32 verse 1 tells us we're in the 12th year. Okay, and this is a prophecy that we'll see against Pharaoh. So in the 12th year, in the first day of the month of the 12th month. Okay, so this starts off in the 12th year, first day of the 12th month. Then verse 17 tells us it's the 12th year in the 15th day. And we perceive that also be the 12th month. Okay, so now you can see this 15th day. This is Purim. We showed you Purim here. That's the same year. We got the 12th year in Esther. We got the 12th year in Ezekiel. And you got Purim, which is the 15th day of the 12th month. And you got the 15th day of the 12th month right here in Ezekiel 32:17. Now this prophecy is about Pharaoh. And he goes to hell, guys. And that's what it says in Revelation 20:20. When the beast goes into the lake of fire. Okay? But it says this Pharaoh's like a young lion, a dragon from the sea. So why would Donald Trump be, talking about this snake poem? This is very strange, cryptic things he's doing. But, the saints of the Most High, those with victory over the beast, they know what he's doing. They're onto him, okay? But the rest got to be educated, okay? But it's a trial to see what's your loyalty. What's your loyalty? America? Some kind of political party? Or is your loyalty to the Lamb? That's why we got to go through tribulation. All right? Daniel 12:7. It shall be a time, times, and half a time, when he shall have accomplished to scatter the power of the holy people. Okay, so there's a testing time for the people, 42 months to deal with the beast. Daniel 11:36. The king will do his will. He will exalt himself. He will magnify himself above every god and speak marvelous things against God. That's exactly what we can see this guy doing. Daniel 7:25. He shall speak great words against the Most High and shall wear out the saints and change the times and the laws. We know those are the Noahide laws and Sunday laws. And they shall be given into his hand for a time, a times, and a dividing a time. So that's why the apostate Christians got to go through this, because they're the great multitude that is not loyal to Christ. Okay, they got to go through this. They got to deal with this beast. Okay, for a time, times, a half a time. That's 42 months. All right, and then. Same thing, Revelation 13:6, he opened his mouth in blasphemy against the God in his name. We've been telling you how they're coming against his name, Jesus Christ. His tabernacle, all right, and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given to make war with the saints and to overcome them, and power was given to him over all tribes, tongues, and nations. That's a description of the great multitude. So guys, that's the prophecy of the 42 months. 42 months happens by a time period, okay? And we find that time period through Esther and through Ezekiel chapter 32. But I encourage you, if you haven't watched it, to watch Trump, the lion with two eagles' wings, and Daniel with the mouth of a lion, the seventh crown, and this whole prophecy. Now, guys, if many of you, if you voted for this guy, and you're still, loyal to him, just consider this is a component of the beast, all right? This channel, yeah, we teach, but we teach repentance, man. Repent, for the kingdom is at hand. You have to look at yourself and say, what am I doing? How is it that I was deceived by this? That's what it said in the last days. We would be deceived, okay? A lot of the people are accusing me of being deceived, but look, I told you this 3 years ago, and it happened, okay? So you have lots of questions. What about this? What about that? Look, I don't have all the answers. You got to talk to God. Get the answers from him, okay? I'm just telling you what's going down, all right? So thanks for watching. I may have enough content here, guys, to establish a new playlist. And I have one already on the little horn of Daniel chapter 8, which I encourage you because it's more details of this here. Okay, so thank you for watching. And like I say, guys, watch and pray that you be counted worthy to escape all these things and stand before the Son of Man. Amen.